All right, nickel fans. After exactly 7 months, I finally found the time to get back into this wonderful hobby. I'm Ryan, also known as Nickel Guy 88. And on this channel, I am documenting my journey on my quest to complete the 1938 through 1961 Jefferson nickel set. In these videos, I'll be going through 10,000 nickels per hunt. That's 5 boxes, and documenting what I find. At this time, per the title of the video, I have searched 270,000 nickels. It's been well over 100,000 nickels since I've even added to the collection. I am still stuck on the 1939 Denver and the 1943 Denver. But let's get into this hunt. This was one of the best ones I've ever had. It was a little light on silver, only had 2 silver nickels, but I found 2 Heat 8 nickels on 1938 Denver and a 1939 San Francisco, along with a semi-Heat 8 1955 Philadelphia. Handful of 1938s. Those are a little bit lower mintage. Still not something you see in every box. Had several of those. And a pair of Buffalo nickels. So no complaints there. Now, a little bit of a story about these nickels. So I had some free time around the middle of December until the new year. Went to my local bank. I ordered 20 boxes. My initial goal was to have 300,000 nickels searched by the end of the year. I missed the cutoff time for the ordering by 40 minutes. So I picked up 20 boxes of nickels on Christmas Eve. And they have been sitting in my garage and my basement until yesterday. Nonetheless, I finally found some time uh, to start going through these. I'm hoping to have all 20 boxes done by the end of the week, or at least by the end of the month. So I've got 30,000 left to search, which is 15 boxes, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have lots of good finds. Hopefully, I didn't ruin my statistical average on key dates. I typically only find them about every 35,000 nickels, and I found 2 in the first 10,000. So, anyway, let's get into it. All right. That was a fun hunt, bringing the total to 270,000 nickels searched. Still did not find the 39 Denver. Came close. But what an incredible hunt this was. Anyway, step on in here. So, 39 San Francisco. Key date nickel, very tough to find. Just need that Denver. There's the S on the back right there. Apologize for the camera skills. I haven't made one of these since August 22nd. Anyway, beautiful coin, key date. We found it. There's my tower of 39 Philadelphias. I want to say I'm going to be at about 146 of these that I have found now in 270,000. And each time I flip it over, there's no D. Did find a handful of these 1938 Philadelphias. It's a low mintage year, not a semi-key date, but kind of bizarre. Also found one other key date nickel, 1938 Denver. A close up of that. Look at that. Again, tough nickel to find. Cool stuff. Then you got the usual suspects in here as well. Did find a semi-key date, a 1955 Philadelphia. Tougher one to find. I'll have some totals for you at the end of the video of where I'm at. But, pair of Buffalo nickels. I might nickadate this one simply because it does
have a mint mark right there at the bottom, below the E and the C in between 5 cents. It's a Denver mint mark. Now, usually with these Buffalo nickels, when you find them where the date has been worn off like that, there's no date right there. They're usually pretty old. The other one I found, 1935 Philadelphia. Some guys out there, they do like these proof coins. Found in 1994. So these, for those of you that don't know, these come out of proof sets. Uh, think of it as like little birthday gifts, Christmas gifts. You buy them from the mint, and they make these highly polished coins. You can see it flashes almost like a mirror. They're not supposed to be in circulation. Yeah, it's like the ninth or 10th one that I found. And silly me, last year I did all these nickels. I never pulled any 2024s. I just went through 10,000 of them. Not a single 2024 nickel. I had a bunch from last year. I never put them in the book. And yeah, so I got some 2023s in here. I don't even recall if I put those in there either. Little Tower of Canadians. Did get one foreign coin. I have no idea what country this is from. I'll look it up, put it at the end of the video. Probably some kind of island, but I've never found one of these before. Anyway, here's all your running totals in here. So I go all the way back to October and 2024, and now we're going to start on 2025.
All right. Here are the grand totals so far after 270,000 nickels searched. Now, a little bit about this chart. I knew getting into this way back whenever I started this. There's a lot of data to be had here. So, this chart on the left, underneath the year, that's the year of mintage. And at the top are the different mint locations: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. And inside of these boxes, that's the number of that particular mintage and mint mark that I have found. The blue colored boxes, those are key date nickels. Very, very difficult to find. The green color, uh, those are semi key date nickels. Pretty difficult to find, but not impossible. And the gray, those are silver nickels. And then below that, we've got Buffalo, Liberty, Canadian foreign coins that I've found. So the two that I still need are this 1939 Denver. It's got a 0 in it, and then along with a 1943 Denver. Found another 38 Denver and a 39 Denver. I've got some close-ups here after I go through these totals. Now, the 1950 Denver does show 0. I have not found that one in any of these hunts. However, when I first started this nickel collection, way back on Valentine's Day of 2014, I found a 1950 Denver in my first box. Had no idea what I had found. I just knew, oh, that one's pretty low mintage. Put it in the folder, put it away. It wasn't till almost a decade later that I opened it back up and realized what I had found. Now, to the right of the chart, just got various numbers. Total number of boxes, 135 boxes. There's 2,000 nickels in each box, and each box weighs 22.2 pounds, roughly, something like that. At this point, I have went through almost 3,000 pounds of nickels, 6,750 rolls, face value of $13,500 of nickels. Now, below this, we have some averages. Average number of Jeffersons per box. This averages anything from 1938 through 1959. I excluded 1960 and 1961 because they're so common in this series. So, out of 2,000 nickels, on average, I find 26 that belong to the series that I'm searching for. Average Buffalo find rate, I got to search through 3,253 nickels before I find a Buffalo. Now, 10,000 nickel hunts, which I am doing, it's 5 boxes of nickels. Each box has 2,000. I only found 2 Buffaloes out of that 10,000. So that was an average of 1 Buffalo per 5,000. Fun fact, both those Buffaloes came out of a single box. Now, we've also got Liberty nickels, Silver War nickels, and so on. Towards the bottom, still cracks me up. I've went through almost 19,000 feet of nickels, and for miles, 3.56 miles of nickels. Anyway, feel free to pause the chart if you want to look it over. Let's move on to some close-ups of my finds. All right, so here we go. Heat 8 nickel, 1938 Denver. I was slightly disappointed actually when I pulled this out because I've went through so many nickels and I should already have found the two that I need. Statistically, I find a keyed 8 nickel about every 38,000 nickels, something like that. I'd have to do the numbers again. So I know in this batch of 40,000, I was expecting at least one keyed 8 nickel. Boom, I find this within the first box. I'm like, gosh darn it. We're probably not going to find anything else. And then in the final box of this 5 box hunt, I found another keyed 8 nickel, which is the 1939 San Francisco. And here's the other keyed 8 nickel, the 1939 San Francisco. Now, this is the nickel I need, except I need the Denver mint mark. So if you're looking at the image on the right with the Monticello, if you look to the right of the building, you'll see this tiny little S. I just need there to be a D in that spot. So, somewhat comical. The 1939 Philadelphia, which there is no mint mark, that one's fairly common. And I have found 146 nickels of that year from that mint. So 146 times I have found that nickel only to flip it over and just be disappointed. Anyway, I'm going to get this video rolling. I'm going to get started on this next batch of 10,000 nickels. So here we come to 280,000 searched. Maybe, just maybe, I'll luck out and find the two I need. Thanks for watching. And as always, feel free to leave a comment below.